Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been 4 years. So I've come back to YouTube, but I just didn't want to come back without like giving a backstory. 2023 has been has been the hardest year of my life. And I'm saying has been the hardest year of my life because God forbid that I go through what I went through in 2023 again in my life. I pray that's the hardest year that I had to encounter in my life, because I came to share. Maybe I think if I share, it's gonna make a difference for me, because I definitely know that my life is getting better now, and I don't want to ever forget where I've come from or what I've been through. And that's why I decided to make this video, because I know that there's some things on my YouTube that, like, I forgot that I was ever there. So I wanted to make a YouTube video just so that when I look back, I'll remember everything that I've been through and how I made it through. And it's just going to be like some sort of encouragement for myself that you went through the toughest year of your life and you still made it out. So there's still like other things you can overcome. Does that make sense? I hope it does. This is what I learned in 2023. My work with God and like how it improved drastically. Like 2023, I think my work with God became real. Like it became really real, for real. I'm going to tell you how my year started and how my year ended, what I went through. Of course, not in detail. Let me just say, when 2023 started, like, guys, I don't know what was going on, you know what I mean? Like, my year started, everything was just in shambles, like in my mind, because usually when I enter a year, I have my goals. I already know what my biggest goal and target is for the year. When I entered 2023, guys, I had no idea. Like, I'm not joking, I literally had no idea what's going to happen, where I'm going, what my plan is, not knowing that the year had already been planned out for me. And I don't know if it was me feeling heavy in my heart, like I just couldn't pick myself up. Forgive me if I'm like looking around, because I'm parked somewhere and there's people passing, so I get very intrigued. So yeah, when the year started, and I remember I was even telling someone, I was like, this year for me is different. Like, I don't know how to go about it, because the year has started and usually my goals, what I'm going to achieve, like all that, it just naturally flows to me. Compared to the other year, it was like a first. It was the first time that I tried, you guys, I tried buying like books, the ones that like you use to journal. I tried nothing. I tried to make up some things like work out, do this, do that. It wasn't coming from the heart, like it just wasn't doing. The beginning of the year, I got the worst news. Like I got terrible news, like family related. I can't even share it here, and it just broke my heart. This was the most heartbreaking news I got at that time. It was news without closure, so it's like you have to continue going through it. And that's also about the time I found out late last year that my mom had cancer also. So I was still trying to like process that whole thing. Was in shambles. My mind just couldn't function like as well. Even, you know, I was just all over the place. I feel like I'm all up in your face, guys. You know, I was just taking one day at a time, guys. It was the worst. There was one thing that was going okay, and I think me talking to that person, it really helped me so much, because everything was falling apart. I'm not joking, guys. From all angles and all areas, like nothing was going right. Yeah, and I feel like when you know what your plan is for the year, it just really helps. Like, it helps you know how to navigate and when to navigate. When the new year came, yeah, we're outside. If I had known that that was the way my year was going to go, I would have just stayed home and slept. One thing that I knew and I had a feeling about, and that I was sure about, was that I wasn't going to let go of God. That was a goal that I was certain about. Like, you don't even have a choice, baby girl. I signed up for like some classes at church, and my church, I go to Mount Zion. So I signed up for Days of Rain. And surprisingly, like, I was consistent, guys. I was already going through hell, like, at the beginning. From January, I was going through it. I'm not joking. And I was consistently going for the classes, like, and I don't even know where I got the strength from, but I think all of it was just God, to be honest. I got baptized in March. The best decision, I feel like that's one of the good things that happened to me last year, in 2023. Was the fact that I got baptized. Like, I can't even explain it, guys. God had to be my priority, and it wasn't even that I saw how the year was going to flow or whatever. I just really had like a strong urge, and like I was drawn more closer to God, like to get closer to God, and I didn't even have anything in mind, like, oh no, let me stop drinking or going out. I was just like I can't let go of God. I didn't know what I was fasting for. I was just there. I'm like praying to God, like, you know, do what you gotta do, G, because I was blank, guys. I'm not joking. And someone will say, how is it possible? I also don't know. I had absolutely no control. Like, there was nothing I could do but just watch everything go down. My mom was sick. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no job. Obviously, it's not like I've ever had like a serious job or anything. You know, before, yeah, I was making money, like keeping afloat, money for chills, all these things. You know what I mean? Like, my love life was, it was chaotic, you guys. And I don't even mean like in like a drama type of way. I mean in a sad way. Like, last year was one of the years where I could genuinely say, like, Lord, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm here for. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know anything. Like, I knew nothing, guys. I was just there to be there, and it wasn't even by choice. Fast forward to June. This whole time I'm living, my mind was clustered. Like, you know how it is when your mom is sick, you guys. I was seeing her get worse right before my eyes, and there was nothing I could do, like absolutely nothing, but just be there. She never showed that she's going through as much pain as she was going through. Like, she was strong until the very last breath. Guys, cancer. Oh, anyway, so my mom passed on in June. This was now when, like, my mom, who's been in my life my whole life, like, even when we were mad at each other or I was mad at her, like, I was still around her, she was still around me, you get. Like, before she passed on, I had already lost everything. Like, and in terms of lost everything, I don't mean like material stuff. I was just living every day. Like, I wake up and I'm just like, no hope, no nothing. I'm just there. Like, I can't kill myself. But sometimes when I saw trucks pass, I was like, Lord, if this truck hits me, like, I won't be mad. Do me a favor. That's how much pain I was in each and every single day. I was dealing with heartbreak from all areas. I was forced to grow up now. I'm just like, no, I'm really just like a child to the extent. You know what the suckish part about all this is that despite what you're going through, life is still going forward. There's still things you have to do. Like, you just don't stop and you're like, oh, well, the world will understand me because, well, I lost my mom. My whole life is in shambles. You have to keep going forward. Like, in the midst of all that pain, guys, I had to find a way to keep moving. And I would wake up like super early, like in the zeros, 02, and maybe just start crying. I don't even know why I'm laughing. It's not funny. It was normal for me, like at this point. So, but on this day, there was a day in August. I remember I woke up like around 4 a.m. And when I woke up, every day when I woke up, it's like, do you know how it is when you're sad? When you're really sad, you wake up, it's like when you sleep, you escape for a bit, unless you dream about it. But like, and when you wake up, that pain or sadness comes and it closes you. So, but this day I was aware for some reason, right? That used to happen to me every day. Like, really just said, like, God, I'm tired. I'm so tired. It's in that moment, like the whole year I could feel that God is with me. God is seeing me. And through all this, I used to ask, like, why are you allowing all these things to happen to me? Like, why are you putting me through so much pain? Or just allowing me to be in this much pain? You know, when I'm trying for you. Guys, I've even felt heavy. He was just waiting for me to ask him to help me. Right? Because on that day, I did get like direction, you know. And it was no sooner than when you ask God for something, in terms of like, help me, guide me, change me, do this for me, He's going to answer you definitely, and He will help you, He will guide you, He will do all these things. Maybe not at the time you're expecting, but He's gonna do it today. And on that very day, I understood some things that I hadn't understood. I got like, God showed me like, you start from here. But the main thing that He was really trying to also tell me was like dependency on Him. It came to me as, don't depend on other human beings to make you feel loved, because the love that you need can only come from me if it's gonna be healthy. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's it. Bit by bit, God started revealing to me, not bit by step, it was happening fast. God started showing me like, you need to work on this, you need to work on this, you need to work on. Now, understand this about me, like, I used to be a perfectionist. I'm going to become so perfect, you won't have any complaints about me. That's not a bad thing, but when it's coming from a point of like ego and like, it's like you're living for everyone else, you know what I mean? So now I started learning it's okay not to be perfect. It's okay for you to like accept that you're just a human being at the end of the day. You can't get everything right, you know? It's dependency on Him. I started learning and like looking at myself in a mirror in terms of like my life, right? The things that I thought I was doing correctly or just enough, you know? it's like now God is showing me work on this. I was triggered. I'm telling you, I was triggered. Most of the time, the candle was here because I'm like, what next? Haven't I done enough? But then because I was already at the bottom, guys, I was at the lowest point of my life. There was no way I was going to not work on myself. I took it. It was very triggering and it was very like uncomfortable. The process, I can't lie to you guys and say like, oh, it was cool, it was manageable, yes. But it's the most uncomfortable process that I've ever been through in my life. Like seeing myself in that light, ew. I was just like, girl, nasty. And not that it was anything bad, but it's just looking at yourself through God's eyes makes you see your worth, right? But then you start thinking about all the things that you allowed to happen to you in the past. Now that's where the problem is, because it's like, how could I ever allow that to happen to me? And not from like an egotistic point of view. It's like, God loves me this much. I don't know if I'm making sense to you guys. I don't know if I'm getting through, but it's like God loves me this much, right? And in his eyes, I'm like gold. I'm a diamond. I'm worthy. And then you think about all the things that you tolerated from certain individuals, how you let people control your life, how you let people bully you, walk over you, whatever it is. Then you start thinking and you're like, I really allowed that. Just makes you look at yourself in some type of way, right? There's shame that comes with it, but obviously you're not supposed to take it like that. One of the things that God told me to work on, that was, I'm more of like on the nonchalant side most of the time, right? I just say, yeah, it's whatever. Because I'm like, I don't care. Like you can hang. You can go straight to hell, love. That's not my business. I could care less, you know? But in my mind, I spent time in my mind, guys, and beating myself up, like criticizing myself, like, you know, being the biggest critic, your biggest critic, but always negatively, and absolutely no one knew that side of me, like, because like I knew nothing else, right? I'm just thinking this is what happens to everybody. Now I started having to learn to be kind to myself. Me being that mean to myself all the time, it just led to insecurities, placing the weight of you feeling loved or you loving yourself on others. Do you get? To make me feel loved or feel a void that only my love coming from me and love coming from God would ever feel. There's you loving yourself, there's you loving others, right? There's you loving God. Now taking this part for you loving yourself and putting it on someone else, God started breaking me down. Like, it's like he destroyed my previous foundation, like what I had, and then he started building another one with me. But he started rebuilding me, you know. And I've never ever experienced confidence and like secureness the way I did when I decided to like let go and let God, like to allow God to do what he had to do and to do his process. I'm now I can say like I'm genuinely confident and secure, you know, and that I know I'm loved and I know who I am and I know who I am in Christ and I see who Christ sees me to be. I can't even allow anyone to treat me trifling. Never. I can't allow myself to even be mean to myself now because of God. The process that I went through was really tough, but I knew I was safe because God was taking me through that process. It's really a scary road to go down, and like God surrounded me with the right people and the right things. I watched the right videos, like He was guiding me step by step. Another thing that I wanted to say is find a church like where you feel comfortable and you feel at home, guys, because there is power in fellowship. I'm telling you, when everyone goes to church and like we're all praying for our own problems and we're all praying, in a way it's like we're praying for each other. I can't even explain it, but there is power. God said, like, where two or more are gathered in my name, there I am in their midst, right? So many things happen, so many breakthroughs and so much deliverance, because deliverance goes on when, you know what I mean? It's not always you manifesting. It's like something as simple as finding out a new piece of information that changes your mindset, and God changes your mindset. I can tell you, like, now I'm still growing, and the person who I was last week is different from the person that I am today. Like last week, the things that I was seeing, like, oh, that's okay, I can do that, sure, I'm down. This week is like, nah, I'm not going to do that. Like, God just changes your mindset. Go to Him as you are and allow Him to do His work on you. Trust me, like, just, if you drink, if you are a fornicator, if you are a porn watcher, if you are a masturbator, if you are a liar, you are a thief, you are a killer, just go as you are. Just go and say, like, Lord, here I am. He's going to do the work 100%. Trust me, guys. You don't even have to do anything. All that work that you think you're doing to be able to be perfect for God is pointless. Because I guarantee you, when you really let Him do work on you, He's still gonna rub that off. I'm not perfect, no. But then again, I'm not going to allow what I've been through and where I've been to stop me from going to where I'm going. I'm working on myself. I'm allowing God to work on me. And that's that. You know, I'm where I am. I don't think I'm better than anyone else, no. But then I'm also not going to let that stop me from being who God is making me to be now. Do you get me? I am proud to serve Jesus Christ. He's my Lord, He's my Savior. He saved me from so much, guys. And one thing that I learned is only you know what you're going through. Only you know, only God knows, only God sees what you're going through, only you see what you're going through. So if you're going to be ashamed and now say, no, it's not cool enough, so you'll be going through it alone. All the times when I feel like, nah, I'm doing too much, I just think of where I'm coming from, and I'm just like, I'm not even going to allow that to stop me. Like, I know where I'm coming from, and I know what God has done for me in my life. I'm not ever going to look at someone else now and say, like, I'm scared of what you think about me. You ain't with me when I was going through what I was going through. Only God was with me. You know what I mean? And even if you were there, God is the one that healed me, right? And God is the one that sent you to me. And God is the one that used you to do what you did in my life. And God is the one that's going to use me to do what I'm going to do in other people's lives. It's the Spirit of God. None of us do it because, like, we're just good people, we're good human beings, we're what. Nah, it's God. It's God. So, guys, put God first, for real. There is an unexplainable peace and just calmness that comes with, like, letting God be God in your life. Like, and just the relationship that I have with God now is more on a personal level. Like, it's real. It's real. It's real. And it really touched my heart to know that God actually cares about me. Like, you think about me, you speak to other people about me. Obstacles, things come your way, they do. But you're not worried because you know that God has got you. Do you get what I mean? Everything in your life will work out. And I'm saying this not because like everything has worked out, but like I've learned faith. I believe now that all things are really working for my good. All the nonsense that I went through last year has really just been to make me a better person and to prepare me for the things God has for me. And like also because of the things he's going to bless me with. If he was blessing me with those things back then, I promise you, I don't know how I was going to be able to keep those things, because I was just so laser-faced, like whatever happens now. Like he was preparing me. He's like, I'm asking him to bless me with all these things, but I didn't have the capacity. I didn't have the capacity to be able to handle those things, to be able to keep those things. He was going to bless me with those things, but maybe I was going to drive them away. Maybe I was going to ruin it. Maybe I was going to, but like all I know is now, the information that I have and the growth that I've been through has been so amazing that I'll be able to handle what God blesses me with. And it's painful sometimes because it's things that are just unexplainable and like beyond, like what's this character development, like why do you have to be so harsh? But God allows some of these things to happen because that's the only way you get to where you need to be. And no one can change you, guys. It's you to take the step. No one but God can change you, but you need to allow him. You need to ask him, like, Lord, help me change. Other human beings cannot change you, honey. So the only person's time you're wasting is yours. If you're a believer in Christ, allow God to do what you gotta do, because outside God there is nothing. All that you are building outside Christ is vain. It's nothing. It's vanity. And when the time comes, God himself will rebuild you and rebuild you right, because he will use his foundation and not foundation of other things, other people. None of that. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and like. I just came on here to share with you because now I'm back, guys. I'm back and I'm gonna be consistent. I know we're going to do great things, go great heights, be the best that we possibly can. Thank you for watching this video to this point. There's definitely more coming, guys. The sky looks so cute. The sky right now looks so cute. See you in the next video. I'm trying to stop it. It's not stopping. Sorry.